Testing, testing, 1, 2, testing, testing, 1, 2. Good morning, good morning. Yo, yo, hear me out there. What up, Jimmy Olive? Good morning. Can you hear me, bro? How you doing today? Check it out. This is Mr. Royce Jay, Royce Media, coming at you guys with another live stream. Happy Monday. What's happy about it? I know some of y'all might. Anytime you anytime you 10 toes down, you still able to walk around and get done the things you have to do, and the opportunity to make things better is a good day. So it's a happy day. So happy Monday. Yeah, yeah. We're gonna let a few more people get into the chat, and do me a favor. Make sure you hit the like button on your way in. Do me another favor. Announce that you're here, and let me know where you're listening from, where you're watching this from. Yeah, yeah. I had a pretty good weekend. I don't know about you all, but I had a pretty good weekend. Was able to get some stuff done around the house. I had some things I need to work on, so I was able to work on that, get some stuff figured out, uh, get some things fixed, and was able to watch the show I like called Monarch on Apple TV. It's a pretty cool show. Um, I'm a big Godzilla fan. I big Godzilla. I love Godzilla movies, and so you know, I like this whole Monarch thing, man. I am not going to spoil it for you guys. Uh, you know, check it out when you get a chance. Monarch, if you like Godzilla, Monarch is pretty decent. I think they kind of injected, of course, some of the woke stuff. Some of the they have a little bit of a same sexual overtone in there, but that's what they do. you know, so know that, understand that going into it. It is what it is. Jimmy, the Cowboys lost. Yeah, yeah. Green Bay, you know, handed them a whooping. My son, my wife, they are Green Bay fans, and my son was whooping and howling about it. I could care less. Even though I played football uh, in high school for a little bit, um, I am a boxing and combat sport person. So, I kind of save all my excitement for those, you know. Um, Speaking of boxing, recently Deontay Wilder, um, he lost to Joseph Parker. And those of you all who know me on Facebook, um, I said this uh, about Deontay Wilder several times. His problem is that uh, he can't box. He doesn't have the skills to be. He doesn't have a good basis. What he has is tremendous power, and he's unpredictable, uh, which works to his advantage because the shots that knock you out in boxing, the shots that knock a boxer out are the shots a boxer doesn't see. You know, and Deontay Wilder, uh, he would throw hard shots from all over the place, and that's how he would get guys up out of there. But I was one of the people that said early on, this guy can't box, and he's going to get in there with guys that can actually box, and they're going to give him fits, and he's going to lose the guys that actually box. And I actually, for all three of his fights with Tyson Fury, I called what was going to happen each fight, um, with an over 90% accuracy, uh, because I understand boxing very well. I understand boxing very well. When I was boxing, I boxed at a high level. So, you know, I coached. As if Mike Reed is here, Mike Reed will tell you. Um, I came up in the combat sports. So, you know, but anyway, that those are my sports. Um, Yeah, man. So, yeah, Jimmy, your Cowboys lost, man. There's a lot of Cowboy fans out there, and I know they're gonna be singing the blues. Um, I guess Detroit's got to play the 49ers coming up to see if who's gonna make it to the playoffs between those two. So it'll be interesting. You know, um, I know my son is excited about Green Bay. Uh, feel bad for you, Jimmy. You guys, they fought the good fight, but it wasn't enough for them, unfortunately. So, what else in news has happened? Uh, the U.S. performed airstrikes against the Houthis over in Yemen. Um, so, look, I'm gonna tell y'all something. Uh, it's beginning to look a lot like WW3. It's beginning to look a lot like the WW Trey. Um, I think we're in the very early stages. So it is what it is. Jimmy said, "You glad?" Oh, it was a good weekend for you. Oh, you were glad the Cowboys lost. Okay, so you're a Green Bay fan too. Yeah, yeah. My wife and my son, they're Green Bay fans. So, it's just getting wild over there. Yeah, it's been wild over there, man. I think we're going to see Iran become much of a a bigger puppet master, fighting uh, a proxy war against Israel and Saudi and stuff. So yeah, it is getting wild over there. Um, the thing is that I always question how much are we not seeing. You know, what I used to do back in the days, I would watch news sources outside of the U.S. like Al Jazeera and BBC to try to get a different perspective than what was going on Fox or CNN or MSNBC because they have their own slants, and a lot of times, if you want to understand uh, things outside of the U.S. propaganda system, you have to watch news sources from other places. Like, even watching Telemundo, you know, um, lots of times you can get a perspective outside of what's actually happening in the continental U.S. Jimmy, you said you just like some good football sometimes, and people wrote off Jordan Love too early. Glad to see him doing good. Yeah, yeah, I think so. You know what? My son, he did say, he was in the car with Jordan Love when Green Bay signed him. My son was very happy about that pick, and it's good to see that his uh faith in Jordan Love was vindicated. you know, so hey, you know, yeah, man, yeah. So getting back to the international news, um, a lot of the stuff that we aren't shown in the U.S. or perspectives you get from watching news sources from outside of the U.S. that aren't under the control of Rupert Murdoch, Rupert Murdoch, and the various other groups with slanted interests, slanted interests, news that isn't controlled by what's the guy that the BLM guy, the puppet master behind it. But he controls a lot of the media and stuff as well. It's Rupert Murdoch, and I can't think of the other guy, um, the money man. Um, but yeah, yeah, this is you know, you have to look at other news sources. Um, in addition to the ones on the U.S. side, because then you're able to compare notes. Um, Jimmy asked, "You remember when they put Jordan's mom in nosebleeds his first year?" No, no, I don't. Like I said, I'm not. I don't really follow a whole lot of football like that. When I, I'm a Tom Brady fan, you know, I follow Tom Brady, you know, so yeah, man. But no, my son would remember that. Me, not really. You say it's a lot of YouTubers report about geopolitics now. There's a lot happening. There's a lot happening in geopolitics that you know, the tea leaves are falling from the tree more often now. So they're falling more often, and we're going to see a steady increase. This is going to be a wild year. In my opinion, 2024 is going to be a wild year. So, yeah, man. You said that's how you found out about Coach RP? Okay. All right. Cool. Cool. I've heard of him. I haven't watched any of Coach's RP content, but I have heard of him. Um, so shout out to Coach RP. Um, yeah, man. So um, you had that. You had the obviously in you know you had the Cat Williams legacy going on. Oh wow, Coach RP died. Oh, rest in peace, Coach RP. Wow, another YouTuber bit the dust, man. That's man. You know, it's rough out here, man. That's why I say any day that you 10 toes down, you know, is a good day, man. Man, man. Rest in peace to Coach RP. But this topic that we're talking about, that I'm gonna that is pretty much the theme of this live stream is trad wife, trad life. Gen Z is you know they're tired of modern living. They want to get back to basics, and this live stream was inspired by a video I was watching um, about how Gen Z um, women they you know um, there's an increase in content creators on social media of Gen Z um, young mothers, young wives who they want to stay at home with their children, and um, I think the two commentators on the video, uh, I think they made a lot of good points. I think some of the stuff that they said was um, I see it differently, but I think it was interesting to see actually two younger women talk about this. I talk about this. It is my guess that they are either later, they're either millennials or early Gen Z, and you know what they what what they talk about is basically something that has been said for a long time, and we'll take a look at the video, and then I'll give my commentary, interjecting at different points within the video, so that we can more or less develop a conversation. On that note, let me pull this video up so you guys can see what I was talking about. All right, fair use, fair use. I got my fair use
Advocating we
badge.
go back, but I think there are some funny trends there. But when it comes to actual child
Let me stop this. We're gonna restart this video from the beginning. All right, let's go.
All right, guys out there, who would you rather marry? A girl boss or a trad wife? It seems like Gen Z is choosing the latter. According to a new article in The Federalist, the rise of the massively popular trad wife or traditional wife trend on Instagram depicting women happily remaining at home and raising the kids is following a reorientation of priorities for women away from the workforce and into the wifery. One trad wife, Hannah Nealman, has nearly 9 million followers on Instagram who attentively tune into content featuring her life as a mom on a hog farm in Utah. Here's one example of her content.
All right, see, this is that this is that BS, man. You know they would have this old 1950s corny music, as this woman is doing something that that mothers should do, and that is taking care of their families and spending time with their kids. And this is my whole issue with the idea of trad. It's not tradition, it's biology. The whole trad thing, like some group, got together, some governing body, a religious group or something got together and said, these are going to be our traditions and how we're going to do it. No, this is biology, taking care of your kids and stuff and taking care of your family, you know, and and preparing food and taking care of where you live. That's biology. That's not, well, it's biology for most people. It's what's sensible. It's not just this. I don't like that word trad. I think that's my issue. I don't like the idea of trad. I think it's a trap, and I'm going to get to that, how it's used as a trap. But let's get back to the video. Let's continue. All right, I'm getting tired of
To
it.
the son of JetBlue's founder with a net worth of nearly $400 million. This has led to accusations that this lifestyle only works for the ultra rich. Others say the rise of the trad wife is just an excuse to push back on the gains made by feminists in the modern era and return women to a more subservient role.
Here to discuss is.
All right, let's stop right there. It's funny how people think, um, how people in the U.S. and in the Western world, which includes really, you know, Central Europe and everything, under the British Empire, they think it's expensive to stay at home and take care of a family, which is far from the truth. You know, you actually save money um, doing things at home. With somebody at home, uh, you save. And I'm going to say this, and if I have female listeners that don't like it, oh well. Y'all don't like a lot of stuff, so get over it. Um, it's You save more money when women are at home because you're not out, buying food. Women love to go out and eat all the time, and that costs money. You all want to have outfits and different outfit every time you go out, so that costs money. You know, you want to go get three or four lattes, or whatever coffee drink. You can't make coffee at home and take it with you. You got to go spend 15, $20 at Starbucks for a cup of coffee. That adds up. Um, Women are naturally spenders. And this video is actually going to address that a little bit later on in the video. Um, how, basically a lot of women are going to work to pay for going to work, and the cost doesn't the cost doesn't match up with the benefit. Let's continue.
Author of this Federalist piece and a research associate at the Heritage Foundation, Emma Waters. Emma, welcome back to Rising.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Right. So a lot of this trend, I think, started during the pandemic, and a lot of women ended up leaving the workforce after their jobs went remote. This was talked about in the media as sort of a tragic trend about how they needed to actually figure out how to get women back to work. But a lot of women that I've talked to say that the pandemic basically reminded them that they actually enjoy being at home and enjoy taking care of their kids. Where did your inspiration for this piece come from, and what has been your experience in terms of the research that you've been doing on the rise of this tradwife trend?
So I'll be the first to admit that I was actually highly skeptical of the tradwife influencers for a long time and really critical of them. So similar to some of the criticisms that you hear, it's unrealistic. They're playing into a stereotype and they're trying to paint this one vision of womanhood, of what it means to be feminine, that's maybe just not representative of what most women actually want. But as I was observing COVID and then even just the last few years, the changes we've seen in the way that women prioritize their time, I started to realize that even though these tradwife influencer accounts are usually showing the most extreme version of what it means to be a feminine homemaker at home with all of her children, that in many ways it was actually tapping into this deep need within Gen Z. I mean, the fact that she has 9.
All right, let's stop right there, because she is you got three women up here, and they power talk. That being said, um, listening to her talk, you see, um, you actually see a display of the programming, the indoctrination from the colleges and universities, feminism versus um, the the reality of everyday living, and and this is why I think it is important for all young people to uh, not not go directly into college, because you have to live a little, so that when you go into college, you, you got to live a little. You got to earn money. You have to experience life outside of college, because what college is, it's not it in this day and age, it's not a place of education. It is a place of indoctrination, and they get pumped with a lot of ideas from a lot of weirdos with titles that don't jive with reality. And we're seeing this all the time, from this group of women right here to the different women like Ebony K. Williams on social media, um, you know, to the Princella Clarks, you, you see that clash of ideal and hypothesis versus reality. So, fair use, fair use. Let's continue.
Million followers. And I'm guessing a lot of those are moms of kids who probably aren't getting to live the kind of lifestyle that she is. That there is this inherent and like deep hunger among women to really be at home with their children. And I think many women experience the burnout of girl boss culture, of the corporate full-time work lifestyle where you're rushing the kids off to school or to daycare, you're getting to work, you're doing the best job that you can, and then you have to hurry and go pick them back up, and then dinner's ready. And then it just goes on and on. And
Let's pause right here. That's that indoctrination, creeping up again, because the fact is, um, these women make it as if they're doing all of this all by themselves all the time, which is a lie. If you understand anything about women and their communal nature and men and their uh, propensity to try to please women, to please the women that they're with, these women are getting the assistance not only from the men that they're with, most of them are getting assistance from family. So, it's not always all them all the time, picking up the kids to school, or dropping the kids off school or picking them up and running the kids to sports and stuff. Uh, they they talk as if um, this is all on the woman, and unless that woman is married to a man that's working 16 hours a day, she has help from that man, his family, her friends, his family, different stuff like that. So, you know, um, when dealing with modern women, understand that they use a lot of hyperbole and they exaggerate a lot. They exaggerate a lot, and it's um, some of it's unintentional, but some of it is born out of constant manipulation because they're constantly trying to maneuver to make life as easy as possible, which is one of the things I said. The problem, one of the problems that we have in the U.S. is that life is too easy for everybody. It is. Life is extremely easy, which I got a funny feeling it's going to change uh, sooner than later. But life is so easy that you have people complaining about how easy life is. Let's continue. Fair use, fair use.
COVID introduced this restful time where all of a sudden you could slow down, you could take time with your kids, and really enjoy some of the more domestic arts that many aspects of our modern and especially urban life don't allow. And so all that together, and just seeing the happiness that a lot of women were deriving from this, I thought it was something really important to consider more closely.
In the state I'm in right now, the state of Iowa, childcare is $865 a month on average. It seems really telling to me that we've seen kind of a correlation with this glorification, if you will, of stay-at-home mom influencing, right? Kind of romanticizing the idea of staying at home. I'm wondering, how much of this is coping with high childcare costs and not really having much of a choice to work a job where you're making potentially a similar amount of money instead, just staying at home and doing that work yourself instead of paying someone else out. I just don't think Gen Z would really want to go back to the 1950s, which I think is where a lot of this trad wife core comes from, when women couldn't have their own bank account or buy a car. It wasn't until the 1960s that you could, but only with your husband's signature. And then finally in 1974, it became legal for women to have their own finances. And so I just don't think a lot of Gen Z women want to go back to that. But I can understand, whether it's financial constraints, meaning you're going to stay home and you want to romanticize your life for the internet, or you just like the idea of being home with the kids. But I'm skeptical that people want to go back to the actual world legally of what the 1950s was. What's your sense of that?
All right, let's stop right here. And you hear the concerns about you know spindly spindlies spending Emily's, you know they 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 uh they see the benefit of having women be home with their kids and stuff, and taking care of their families, which for a mother, that's just natural. That's It's not an issue of traditional, it is an issue of biology. um Most women care about the children that they have. That's my position. They care, and they want to be able to teach their children, you know, the things that the children need to survive, instill certain values, different, customs, different things like that. Um, but then, they you see the clash of that corporate programming of, wanting to have their own money and different stuff like that, which they even admitted that credit card debt has went through the roof and stuff like that. And that's funny because, um, even though men, um, for the era that they were talking about, where women couldn't have checkbooks and stuff, um, with the rise of uh, female credit card debt and different things like that, kind of makes you wonder that, was it a good idea to let them have their own money, because now they have turned themselves into indentured servants of the corporation and the state. They owe everybody money. The big push, um, to get Joe Biden in office was a certain demographic known as the most educated. They got themselves in a bunch of student loan debt, which, yeah, okay, college can be expensive, but a lot of them spent a lot of money in college that they didn't have to do, because they wanted to live a lifestyle that they thought their degree in underwater basket weaving was going to give them, because they didn't do the research of those fields. And so now, you got people with a degree in social work, or gender studies, who left college in $100,000 worth of debt, and then they go get these jobs, and they want to have, all these outfits, and they want to have, 30 pairs of shoes so they can have a different pair of shoes for every day of the month, and and they got to eat, at all of these chain restaurants, and fancy restaurants. They want to go on dates 2 days a week, and then they want to eat at their favorite restaurant chain, 5 days a week, and they don't realize that it adds up. And so you see, again, you see the programming clashing with the reality, and it's like they're trying to hold on to the programming, but the reality of what's better for them is actually red pilling them. It's giving them, it's showing them, hey, um, uh, Jimmy Choo don't need you more than your kids do. So yeah, this is a very interesting video. Let's continue. Fair use, fair use.
Yeah, it's a great question. And notably, credit card debt did not begin to skyrocket in the United States until women could have their own credit card without their husband's signature. So I'm not advocating we go back, but I think there are some funny trends there. But when it comes to actual childcare, I think you're absolutely
Yeah, I was just mentioning that. Let's stop right here. I was just mentioning that about the credit card debt, and you know, when you understand, you understand, and this is it's just funny watching this and you know watching the mental struggle that they're having with this. Let's continue.
right. There are a lot of women who realize that I'm effectively working just to pay someone else to watch my kids. And while
Yeah. See? Yeah. Uh-huh. You're working to have someone watch your kids. The only people that really benefit is the corporation. And furthermore, you're exposing your kids to stuff that as life goes on, you'll learn is not beneficial for the kids. In a lot of cases, because we have a lot of you know, a lot of the short eyes gang, and which is slang for the kinkos, which is another slang word. We probably can't say it here on YouTube because YouTube gets funny, but people who have inappropriate um, attraction to children, um, they're in the schools. They're in the schools all over the place. They want to read to kids and have on skirts with no underwear. Every week we're seeing new stories of you know uh, boys and girls being molested by teachers and school staff, and you know these weird activists who they want to position, and choir directors and these other people who want to position themselves around kids because um, they want to have inappropriate access to these children. So that all goes on with um, you know being at work and not being with your kids enough to know what's going on with them, and the thing paying somebody else to watch your kids. That those people are also programming your kids. Let's continue. Fair use, fair use.
many women certainly have jobs that they really love and enjoy, a lot of times they come to the end of the month and they're like, I'm not sure that this is really worth it. And on top of that, I'm missing out on all the really sweet memories with my children that someone else is getting. My mother-in-law once said that she realized that
Yeah. Welcome to the world of men. Men um, who have had to work. You know, you know, a lot of jobs are 8 hours, but a lot of times it is not unusual in this day and age to you have to get up an hour or two, um, before you even travel to work. Then there's travel up to an hour for work. Then there's the 8 hours of work, and then there's the travel home. You're easily looking at 11 hours spent on work. That's 11 hours, you know, that could be spent with your kids. For men that work, 16 hours, you really want to, you could really tack on another four, and these men are working 20 hours. And all of those sweet memories and stuff that now you all are talking about missing and craving and stuff. Guess what? Those men have historically um these are the things that these men are missing. Then they got to come home and address whatever it is at home. You know, um, especially on their off days. Um, they gotta take care of stuff around the house. So I think women. It's not even that I think. I know women are starting to see and feel what men have felt and have experienced for generations, for decades and stuff, especially now, basically in this corporatocracy um, that has been running, um, particularly in the U.S., that's been running the U.S. And even, um, during the agricultural revolution, you know, um, men bore the brunt of the work outside of the home and missed, they missed things that, the women were able to experience with the kids. Now in this day and age, women are starting to feel the consequences of that too, and they don't like it. The difference between women and men is that men, lots of times, they sucked it up and they took it, whereas women complain. And thing about it is, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, number one. And number two, when you suck it up and take it, then people don't have to acknowledge your displeasure of what's going on, and they'll continue to abuse you because you've made it easy because you don't push back. See, this is the thing. This is why a man, such as myself, I don't like the idea of stoicism. That whole trad con thing. I see where it traps men. It's a trap. Stoicism means that you don't speak up and say, I don't like this. I don't see this as beneficial. I don't feel good about these things, and I want to see change. That's where stoicism becomes a problem because it's like, it's weaponized against men to shut up and just deal with it and, continue to um, be put in positions that um, you are unhappy in, or you don't have the control that you feel you should have. And then, thing about that is pressure will bust a pipe. Pressure busts pipes, and all of that stuff is pressure. So I don't like the idea of stoicism. But again, I don't like the term trad or traditional because I look at it as a trap. I look at the word conservative as a trap, and it is not. And I'm a liberal or leftist because I am not at all. What I am is a libertarian. What I am is a constitutionalist. I believe in the guarantee of rights, and that those rights um, govern everything we do and will not be violated, not on my watch. And as far as conservative, no, it's a trap. What are we conserving? If it doesn't work, why are we conserving it? You know, if it does work, we're just doing what works. You know, conserving means to withhold. I'm not withholding progress. Now, what they call progress in a lot of times is fuckery, but you know, we have to separate the two. Like I said, I've said this all the time. I don't care. Um, I'm pro interracial marriage, and I don't care what same sexuals do. I just don't want them dancing with no underwear in front of kids, reading to them in libraries, with skirts on with no underwear. I don't the stuff that is inappropriate. I don't want them doing, especially in front of kids. I don't want people who I think are inappropriate or perverts. I don't want them to have access to kids. That's my thing. What two consenting adults do, that's their business. As long as it's legal, you know, it's their business. And, fair exchange is no robbery, so forth and so on. Let's continue. Fair use, fair use.
Everyone else was getting the best part of her kids, and then by the time she got them, they were tired, they were grumpy, and they were ready to go to bed. And frankly, she was too. And that's just not the sort of life she wanted to build with her children. And so if you look at studies that American Compass and the Institute for Family Studies have done, they've actually found that for a lot of women, sort of like self-reported goals, most women report wanting to work something between like a part-time job or just like a really flexible role. And for women in like lower incomes, they just don't want to work and have one partner bring in the money and then they can run the household, which like truly is a real skill in and of itself to run the household on a strict budget, to make ends meet and to really provide.
Let's stop right here. There's a contingent on social media and in mainstream media of women who think uh, having domestic skills is a form of oppression. Cooking is oppression. Cleaning is oppression. You know, I've seen them numerous times. You know, serving the person that you care for a plate is oppression. It's like a constant battle of dominance. you know, when it's hey, listen, I'm going to open the door for you, and y'all like pumping gas for your girl and stuff, but this same woman you're going to provide for and protect for. She has an issue serving you a plate. She has an issue cooking. All of that stuff is oppression. Um, this domestic skills, being able to care and take care of uh, you know, people and your your possessions and stuff is somehow oppression. So that this whole domestic skills thing, yeah, it is a skill. It is a skill to care for people and stuff. But you're dealing with, especially Gen Z and millennials. They think that's oppression. Let's continue.
A beautiful life for your family. So I think to your point, no, most women don't want to go back to a space where you're really just sitting in the home. And I think a lot of people would argue that wasn't the 1950s, but I think it's important to go back to the even truer vision here that ultimately men and women, husbands and wives, are called to join together in this shared vision of the home, this shared vision that they're called to as partners, and that they're to pursue that together. So this idea that with
There they go with the Dale Gibbons talk. Partners, partners. That's a same sexual term. You know, if you're going to go by what a Christian marriage is, it's a husband and a wife. There's a hierarchy, you know, that is dictated by the mandates of the Abrahamic religions. Be it you Christian, be it you Jewish, be it you Muslim. There's a hierarchy. This partners talk, that it's from the LGBTQ and feminism, that partners thing, and they have different connotations. LGBTQ, of course, same sex. Uh, feminism is, high divorce rate. Partners have an expiration date. So I don't like that term partners when you're talking, you know, how when you're talking uh, standard marriage, how it is practiced in the U.S., how it is practiced within the Abrahamic religions. Within Abrahamic religions, people who are traditionalists, even though I can't stand that word, and people who want to do things and who want to do the things that have traditionally worked are not partners. Let's continue.
women are at home cleaning and men are out doing the really important work was really a rare phenomenon even in the 1950s that clearly did not sit well with women. And so what I think is exciting is that the overcorrection that some of these tradwife influencers are presenting is hopefully bringing people back to a happy, normal state where women can engage in meaningful work, but also have time to raise their children, to be present with their husbands, and to build a community. Think of all the stats of loneliness and
All right. I've had enough. I've had enough of this particular woman, this panel power talking. I've had enough, you know. Um, but again, I've said it a few times. This is where you see the theories of and ideas of the feminist indoctrination is they're being you know they're clashing with reality and they're actually clashing with the actual benefits that women get with not having to with you know uh being pretty much the boss of the home. Because make no mistake, if you are in a marriage and you have a stay at home wife, that woman is the boss of the house. She runs that house. She knows what's going on with the kids. She knows what's going on with the roof. She knows all of this stuff, and she handles stuff and she delegates what you got to do. Hey, Bob, we got to do something about this roof. Hey, Bob, the water heater is leaking, different stuff like that. So she is the boss of the house, which these women are not, they're going to say it, but not really. But the truth is, you know, even when it comes with the budget, they are topping from the bottom, which a lot of guys don't realize. She tells you what needs to be um, replaced in the house, what she needs to make the house run. You may have the final word, but she tells you everything that's going on. She's the backbone of that house, and it is what it is. You know, you may be the backbone financially, but you know, um, she's gonna run that house. It is what it is. You know, you'll have the you'll have the last word, but the actual mechanics of the house, she is more in tune with. Especially like I said, you guys that working 16 hours a day and stuff. Slaving for the machine. Hey, or even if it's your own business and you're grinding like that, man, you don't know everything that's going on. You have to depend on that woman to tell you what's going on with that house. It is what it is, you know. And the thing is that they want to try to act as if it is an oppression or something when it is really an advantage for them. They get to be, intimately involved with what the children are learning, shaping their worldview, making sure, uh, the children are uh, have a public presentation that uh, they want the children to have. There's a lot of stuff, man. So um, it's like looking at when you look at when you look at when you take a step back and you look at uh, what having a family is and what goes into having a family, you as opposed to going out there and working, um, you see you start to understand trick bag that you are in, and it will you know it will shape it'll shape how you see things going forward. Now, what you do from there is what you do. That's the reality of it all. Some guys get upset. They crash out. Some guys realize that, hey, you know it is what it is, and you know let me figure out how to make this the best situation as possible. Um, some guys, say, "Oh, well, I don't want to do that," and either check out or don't get in. Ultimately, every man is responsible for their own decision. You know, um, but you understand. You start seeing the trick bag that you as men have been put in by the system, and then you know you figure out what it is you're going to do. Now women are starting to understand, and believe me, some of them already understand, but a lot of women, for the last couple of generations, they bought into the BS. And I think Gen Z women, even though they want to hold on to the programming, they want to hold on to the fantasy, they're seeing that, hey, this is not what as great as they pushed it to be, as far as being able to go out and be a boss bitch, whatever. They're seeing that, the juice ain't worth the squeeze with a lot of that. You know, um, if you look at the rates of women dying of stress related um, illnesses, you see um, the stats um, increasing big time. Stuff that women didn't, deal with at the rate of men. You're starting to see, you know, um, you're starting to actually see women pass men with that. You're starting to see, you know, women have a harder time controlling their diet because they're out eating food that isn't good for them, all that processed food and stuff, at work, and everything is full of sugar and, and dairy and stuff, stuff that is not really good to be consuming a whole lot of. You know, they're starting to feel the effects of trying to live the the fantasy given to them by feminism in the school systems. And then they're starting to see, hey, I want to be more involved with my kids, which that's the thing. Parents, you do, naturally, especially if you're trying to do things the right way, and that's not traditional, because that again, that word traditional is a trap, because in India they have a tradition of grown men marrying 6-year olds. This is one of the issues I have with that word, trad, that whole traditional thing. You know, it's a trap. It's a trap. But you know, doing the things that work, you know, and dealing with the reality of those things that work the best, uh, you know, that's not simply traditional. That's just doing things the correct way. That's just doing the things that are most right. You know, you can't call that traditional. That's too broad of a brush. Traditional. You know, it's traditional for Muslims to have more than one wife. Women in the U.S. don't like that tradition. See what I'm saying? It's so. But getting back to uh, the women on the panel, they're seeing that, and they're speaking on Gen Z women uh, wanting to get back to a position of where they're able to take care of their homes and spend more time with their children. They're starting to see that they don't want to have to work to have someone else take care of their children. They don't want to have to work to pay for a an expensive clothes closet, which in this day and age, a lot of houses have become. It's just an expensive place to keep your stuff. you know, you want to be at home and enjoy your home. Your home should be your refuge from the world, where you can come home, you can come there and relax and spend time with your spouse and your kids and enjoy it. And yeah, you have to do things to maintain it, but you don't want to be in a position to where all you're doing is you're at work just to pay for this, and looking at what's happening today, you know, buying into these, to the lifestyle indoctrination and stuff. We have corporations and different things have made it to where um, a lot of times you need two incomes. Well, people think you need two incomes. When really, if they really took a long, hard look at what they're spending money on, they probably don't. If they made better money decisions, if they were more pragmatic in their spending, they probably don't. You probably don't need to go to Starbucks every day. You don't need to, you don't need a Louis Vuitton purse. You don't need, every new pair of Jordans that come out of. You if you don't work on a farm, you don't need a pickup truck that is jacked up 4 feet off the ground. I, a lot of our toys, are our trappings. Put it blunt, and then we wind up needing two incomes to pay for that stuff or to work like be working jobs and just spending to pay for stuff we can't use because we're constantly at work. So yeah, um, um, Gen Z women are discovering, begrudgingly that begrudgingly on their part that they don't that the juice ain't worth the squeeze. So extended clips. What up, man? How you feeling there, bro? Yeah, yeah. We talking about you know, this video, um, Gen Z women, you know, taking a second look at basically being traditional mothers, which, as I've said many times before, I have an issue with that word traditional. It's a trap. But, you know, Gen Z women, I would say, are looking at taking a second look at doing what has worked historically, what has worked the most, and that is women being home more with the kids, you know. Um, uh, uh, you know, and I'm even of the thing because we're seeing that single fathers and stay-at-home fathers are actually better parents. The kids seem to do better. Um, I am, y'all know, I am not opposed to the idea of the stay-at-home dad. Since you want to be a boss, be cool. Go out there and work, stress yourself out to death, shorten your lifespan. Let me stay at home and take care of the kids, and let me take care of this house because I'm going to, you know, that man he's going to cook, he's going to clean, and he's going to cut the grass, and he's going to get on the roof and patch the roof, and he's going to figure out the budget and stuff. You want to go out there, you want to be the boss B, you want to be the I'm the CEO, you want to be the entrepreneur. Cool, sis, go do it. Go do it. Let the guys stay home, be able to go to the gym and stay in shape, have abs as long as possible, plan the meals and stuff. Cool. You want to, you really want to play the game, man? Man, I know guys that they stay at home. It's great. It's great. Once you get a good routine with the house, it's not all that hard. And there are men who are discovering this, that staying at home is not so bad in reality. What men are dealing with is the stigma of why you got your woman out there working? A real man. They got to deal with that goofy shit. You know that trad con shit. A real man. Shut it. It's like when guys start talking, it's like, dude, shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about. That's these same guys that getting divorced. A real man, getting his pockets ran. He's all, but I'm a real man, so his wife running his ass, running him ragged. you know, circus clown, a real man would pump the gas. She wanted to buy that car. Guess what? She's got to do the maintenance. One of the maintenance things is to keep it, be aware of the gas and keep gas in it. You know, go get the oil change, different stuff like that. She want to drive. Guess what? She needs to take care of her car. You know, but a real man, you know, sucker shit, basically. you know, so I think, um, you know, the women are starting to understand this. It's like you guys want to go back into this, you know, the women are like, oh wait, whoa, let's talk about this and renegotiate the terms. Whereas guys want to hold on to this idea that's killing them. It's killing you to go out here and work all of these hours, and then you got to do all of this stuff where you're killing yourself. It's like, man, step back, look at what's working, what's not working, and try to figure it out. Man, it's so it's like, man, modern problems require modern solutions. Uh, you know, do what works. For modern, for modern Gen Z women, listen, your choices come with trade-offs and consequences. You want to be out there, you want to be a boss bee. You may make more money, but would you really have the time to spend it and enjoy it? You want to make more money, leave something for your kids. That means that you may not be at home to spend as much time with your kids. You want to be a boss bee. You're going to deal with boss stress. You know, um, you're afraid of not having your own money. Cool. Okay, you want to have your own money, then you need to be conscious of your own debt. you know, don't put your debt on that man. You wanna have say so about your own money, cool. Then you need to handle your own debt. You know, you want to be able to buy your own car. You need to spend your own money taking care of that stuff. You want riches, then you need to put something in the pot. And this is what I tell guys all the time. Listen, these modern women, don't let them play that I'm modern with this, but I'm traditional with this. Don't let them play that game because they're only going to work it to their advantage and their advantage only. You know, um, make them put into the pot. If you want to work, cool. Your money goes into the pot with my money. This is not my money and your money. It's the house money. Okay, you can have an allowance. You know, no more than 25% of what you earn. Everything else goes take care of this house. We're going to build our legacy with this, you know, because guess what? When men go out and earn money, 90% of their money goes to the house. 90% of that money goes to the take care of the family. You want to be equal? Guess what? You're gonna be provider too, woman. You want to be equal? Fine, cool. I got no problem with it. Guess what? You're gonna be a provider and protector too. We're not gonna play this. Jumping back and forth, playing hopscotch. You know, um, and you guys have to deal with things like that. What up, Deacon Dave? What up, bro? Not gonna play this hopscotch game, and you guys have to stop that. Stop allowing them to do that. And this is why I think written marriage contracts are the wave of the future. Um, and so uh, I think I think you guys should revisit that and not be afraid to do something like that. So let me I take a break real quick. Um, as I take this break, I'm going to give you guys a little
I'm a bitch from the streets. I get the money. I get that money. Bitch, give me what you got.
yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah. I think yeah. You like that, Dave? You like that extended? That's Jocelyn. That's Jocelyn Hernandez. Uh, thought that was pretty entertaining. Yeah, it's a train wreck. She is a car crash. Yeah. So, but yeah, you know, ideally, everybody wants to do. Oh, you know what? Let me turn my mic back on. I had to turn the mic off. So let me turn that back on. Can you guys hear me now? That sound good? I'm not reverbing, am I? What about that? Yeah. Put a one in the chat if uh if the mic is back on. So it looked like it was back on. So yeah, yeah, yeah. That's our favorite girl. That's my favorite girl, Jocelyn. Jocelyn Hernandez, boy. She is a train wreck. Woo. Just when you think your girl um, is problematic, it's always a Jocelyn. Yeah, you could, you know, um, in a lot of cases, you could do worse. You could be with a Jocelyn. You know, I mean, she is hilarious in her ratchetness to me. So, um, yeah, yeah. But yeah, ultimately, it's not about traditions because, like I said, it's a trap. It's about doing what works best. We talk about the nuclear family. That's what we've seen works best. We talk about, you know, uh, semi-monogamy because if you get divorced and you get another girl or you didn't have several women, or you with a woman who has, she's got, several men in her past. That's not monogamy. But the idea of, you know, having monogamy, having one spouse at a time in a marriage, it works the best. Ideally, you only want to be married once. That tends to work best. You know, for 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 how our society is structured, it tends to work best. It's again, it's the idea of doing what works best. You know, um, and so this is where we need to. This is this is ideally what we need to push for as a society. You know, and like I said, the thing is two, holding women to a standard, holding them to be accountable. Uh, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, um, holding just like we hold men to a standard and we hold them to a level of accountability. There's nothing wrong with that. The goal is to protect everyone. The goal is to make life as safe and secure for everyone as we can. And that's not saying that there won't be problems when you're dealing with people that is baked into the cake, but looking at the best solutions to either solve or minimize problems, that's the goal. That's the goal. And so you're starting to see with the young women on that video. Um, and when you go look in social media, you see a lot of women second guessing the going out and getting these jobs and trying to bag chasing and stuff. You know, they're being faced with the reality of doing so, and you're they're looking at the trade-offs and they don't like the trade-offs, and now they want to reach back and, hey, no, I want to, and it's like the thing is that as men, when they do that reach back, they need to pay a price. And so like I'm making no secret, I'm a big fan of dowries. I'm a big fan of arranged marriages. I've got no issues with that. You know, I am not a fan of dating apps to look for a spouse. It's not that I'm not a fan of dating apps for single people, but if you're just trying to, you know, you're trying to have some fun, you're trying to, bust down, that's what dating apps are for. I look at the term dating in an old school sense, and that dating is for sex. I interviewed prostitutes for years, or sex workers. I interviewed sex workers for years. And guess what? They all referred to what they did. They called it dating. If you look up the original meaning of dating, dating was to have sex. All it is getting to know someone. You're getting to know somebody you want to have sex with. It all comes back to sex. And so with these dating apps and stuff, that's fine for sex, but you don't look for a spouse on a dating app. That's the, so I'm against that for looking for spouses. I think certain institutions. It used to be the church and stuff, but now the church is full of power bottoms and freaky choir directors. So you, you can't you can't treat the church like you used to. Even you can't do it in the synagogue or the mosque either. You got a lot of weirdos that you know we don't have mechanisms to enforce or to deter certain behavior nowadays. And so now you got a bunch of power bottoms running around getting in leadership positions. Power bottom. That term is hilarious to me. But shout out TD Jakes, you know. But ideally you want to uh there needs to be certain institutions uh, with controls and barriers to entry that will cultivate decent husbands and wives, because dating apps, in my opinion, are the wild, wild west. And even, when I met my wife, it was pre dating app time, but we had those call lines and different stuff like that. And it was it still was the wild, wild west. All that is just that the early it was the early stage of the dating app. It was pretty much the same thing. Your voicemail box became your DMs. But we need to have mechanisms where they would make where uh, good, capable, and upstanding spouses are made, and that used to be the church. Or back in the day when colleges were actually educating people rather than indoctrinating them, you could meet someone that had the values that brought those values from church and community with them. You could meet them at school where they were getting educated, and that was a way to build the middle, the upper middle, and the high class groups. Now, colleges don't do that. They just indoctrinate a bunch of manlets and a bunch of soy boys. you know, every everybody's a tom girl. Everybody's a tomboy in college. Everybody's a tomboy. You got these tough men, these tough women, and soft men coming out of college. Everybody's you know, uh, everybody's jello. you know. So um, how do we get back to that? There needs to there needs to be a creation of something new. Um, I know with Kevin Samuels, he kind of tooled his group to do that. Shout out and recipes to my brother Kevin Samuels. And uh, for those of you all who have been around, you all know my history with Kevin. Um, we had a loose association. We actually talked a few times offline, so forth and so on, but, ultimately, we had things that we agreed on. We had our differences. He talks about the high value suit. And I know a bunch of tradesmen that are millionaires. So I was like, you don't need a suit. Plumbers don't need suits to be millionaires. You know, um, so yeah, in fact, one of the first millionaires I met was an electrician. That this dude, all he wore was overalls. But that's neither here nor there. Getting back to what I was saying about Kevin Samuel's group, he was he created a group to where he intended on matching a certain group of men and a certain group of women with quali- qualifications for each respective group in order to get in that group and to be able to commingle and meet and possibly form uh, relationships and even marriages and stuff. I think that was a great idea, and I think that's going to kind of be the answer, especially because they have hookup groups, and and that's pretty much what these dating apps are. It's the wild, wild west of hookup culture, of digital hookup culture. That's all it is. So it's like, why not put some controls on that? People want to get married and stuff. put some controls on that. Extended clip says, that's how I got married 16 years ago. So I picked up my wife and heard good things about her and her family and took that flight to lock it down. Shout out to Extended Clips for the successful arranged marriage, pretty much. You know, I believe in, you can do it loosely or you can do it directly and assertively. I have no issues with, um, arranged marriages. I think they are a great idea. I'm not real cool on how it's traditionally done in countries like India and Africa, in certain parts. But hey, you know, Extended Clip says, homeschool our children while she stays at home as the domestic engineer she is. Facts. Shout out to you. I think homeschooling. I like the idea of homeschooling, but you have to have um, somebody in the house that is adept at teaching, adept at relaying ideas, and you know, uh, who understands the information and can translate that to and transfer that to a base level to where kids can grab it. That was the that was the issue during the pandemic. You had a lot of people who where you had the situation, the pandemic had the lockdowns, and a lot of kids couldn't go to school, and this is how we learned how dumb some of the parents were because they couldn't assist in that homeschool. They didn't know how to um, get the kids to understand the information, and this is where a lot of physical abuse comes in because um, mama don't understand. Uh, she don't understand how to teach math. She don't know how to break math down. She don't understand her kids enough because she don't spend the time around. She don't really like them. She don't know how to get her kids to understand how to do that math, or she don't. Uh, she can barely speak English. You know, and she's no good with a foreign language, so she can't push that language. She can't help that kid learn that foreign language, let alone the only language she speaks is English. So you had that issues and stuff. And then you didn't have men in the home enforcing certain things, or facilitating or enforcing, because those are different. Enforcing is, hey, I want my kids to study this amount of time a day. And, facilitating is, hey, I'm going to go out here and grind so you can focus on the kids. You can focus on getting these kids um, where we need them to be as far as their education. Extended Clips says his wife is an educator, so that's a big blessing. Yeah, yeah, that's, man. Hey, salute to you, bro. Hey, and it's it's that is a position I would like to see more men get into. Even you know everybody's not a business owner, but at least you know, everybody has to go to school, though. Understand what I'm saying? Everybody has to have at least a sixth grade education, especially if you're talking in America. Everybody has a sixth grade education. Everybody should have at least graduated high school. The majority of people, at least graduated eighth grade. If we can get, if the kids can get to an eighth grade reading level, they can get most jobs. They can learn most information, most useful information. So, the problem with that is that, again, you got people that aren't that intelligent, and they don't and they that aren't that patient, because you can be intelligent, not patient. They're not patient because, one, they probably don't like their kids. Two, they may just be impatient people. Um, you know, but to teach kids, you need patience. You know, um, so yeah. One of the key to homeschooling is co-op with other families and children in one's communities to pull group resources. Yeah, I mean all of that. I mean you're preaching to the choir. You, extended close. You're preaching to the choir. All of that is facts. You know the problem is that that clashes with rugged individualism and people not wanting other people. I don't want you people to know my business and the ideas are great, but the reality is people. you know, the pooling group resources is that's great. It's smart. It's what should happen. You can move things forward. I agree, but I know people. I know people. You know, you got some people, man. It's like herding cats. You got you people that they just don't get along and they don't work well with others. You got some people who are very manipulative and will take advantage of others. You got some people, you managing people is a skill set. And it's a skill set that honestly most people don't have. A lot of people aren't good leaders because they aren't good followers. you know. So I mean, yeah, extended clips. I mean, you hitting it, you knocking it out the park. But man, you got some there's some stuff clowns out here, man. I don't want nobody to know. Lil Terry can't read. That's embarrassing to me. No, that's embarrassing to Lil Terry. So you need to get Lil Terry around other people that value education, and so that can rub off on Lil Terry. So Lil Terry can be able to read. You worried about you. You're not worried about Lil Terry. This is what's going on with the most educated. This is why their kids are dumb. They're so worried about them looking good. I'm a CEO. I'm a boss chick and stuff. Meanwhile, little Terry can't read because they're more worried about themselves than worried about little Terry. You know, so this is a problem with you know the community right now. The adults are more worried about themselves. The adults that run the community, the most educated, they're more worried about themselves than they're worried about the kids. And that's why the kids are dead last in all of the important stuff and first in all of the dysfunctional and criminal stuff. And I'm going to keep harping on that until the day I leave this planet. That is the issue with that. But ideally, homeschooling is great, you know. Um, and that's really the idea of homework is to reinforce what was learned in school. The problem with schools nowadays is that they're being indoctrinated with a bunch of stuff that they don't need. The kids don't. When I was in school, I did not know who my teachers were married to or their living arrangements, and I did not care. I did not care. I did not, even when I went into puberty and I had a teacher I was having fantasies about. I did not care who she was married to or if she was married. In my mind, she was married to me. Shout out Mrs. White. Oh man, shout out Miss White. But I didn't care about what the teachers did at home. Even I had a teacher that was a Vietnam vet that he would snap out. PTSD would cause him to snap out. I didn't care about what he did when that happened at home. I didn't want him doing it at school. you know? so, man, yeah, I did not care about none of that. Now these teachers, I want to show I want to show my family. And it's always some weirdo. You know, it's always some weirdo. I don't care about the teacher's kids, none of that. Listen, I got to get a grade. I didn't care about none of that. I want this grade. I want a passing grade. I cared about bullies in school. I cared about what we was having for lunch. You know, I wanted to have pizza, cheeseburgers, stuff like that. I didn't care about what they're trying to teach now. This indoctrination. You know, um, I needed to know how to read and do math problems and stuff like that. You know, I didn't care about all of this other crazy stuff. Um, and most kids aren't going to care about that. Um, in school, um, I don't, I don't ever recall the Asian kids, the Indian kids, the African kids, uh, the Hispanic kids. I don't recall any group of kids worried about uh, teachers and what the teachers' home life were. I don't recall that. You know, I don't know why it's so important now. Um, I don't even hear kids talking about that. It ain't nothing but it's the same sexuals. It's the same sexuals, and it's the namblers. it's, it's the namblers. It's the short eyes gang. They want to push that because they want to normalize what they do with kids. So again, that's the indoctrination. You know, uh, it's like with you know, um, with the parochial schools and the Christian schools and stuff. There's a specific thing that they want to push in those schools, but those schools are for that. It wasn't a public school thing. Which, if you wanted your kids to have a Catholic education, you wanted them to have a Lutheran education, you wanted them to have an Episcopalian education, you wanted them to have an Islamic education, you send them to the madrasa. The Christian kids, they went to the Christian schools. The Catholic kids went to the Catholic schools. You know, you didn't have that in public school. In public school, it was the basics: reading, writing, arithmetic, science, stuff like that. Nowadays, the kids aren't getting that. They're getting, you know, Toby loves Bill. That's what they're getting. Sarah loves Emily. They don't need that. You're gonna have a whole bunch of dumb, sex workers, basically. you know, or they're getting the girl boss stuff. So you got a whole bunch of uh, sexually free worker slaves, indentured servants. Corporations have really pulled a fast one. They really pulled a fast one. The government, is pulled a fast one with these, child support laws, the family court laws. Everybody is finessing the common person, the common man and the common woman. The women are seeing it. You guys need to wake up. You guys are seeing it on the child support part, but this whole, you know, going out and working 16, 20 hours a day, killing yourself, not being able to be with your kids and stuff like that, y'all are seeing it. Or, these expensive, athletic programs where, you know, you're paying $20,000 a year to, for little Terry to, play base t-ball. And little Terry does, you know, he doesn't have an athletic bone in him. He's got a little you, but his mom don't come from an athletic family. You 6'5", she 5'3", so little Terry come out, the tallest he gonna be is 5'8". Maybe you don't need to do that. You need to focus on academics. I've seen people spend, and this is white and black Americans. This is the difference between them and the other groups that are competing with Americans that are coming to America and competing, is that They pay big money for tutors. We all pay big money for sport coaches. They make sure their kids are doing hours of homework a night, 3, 4 hours of homework a night. Americans are making sure their kids are shooting a ball in a hoop or throwing a ball down a field for 3 or 4 hours. You know, you're gonna have to work in a profession, a non-sport profession, a whole lot longer than your kids to be able to play sports. And with the wear and tear certain sports have on the body, a lot of these kids are beat up and wore out by the time they get to that second year of college. I can't tell you how many, including my own kids, how many people by the time that kid got to that sophomore year in college, that kid was done with that sport. That's the majority of kids because the wear and tear on the body, the stress of playing these sports and stuff, and trying to balance that with the academics and stuff, especially if you have a kid that cares about what they're learning and being smart and wanting to be successful in a non-sport profession, you know, those kids are done. Most of them are done by the sophomore year. That coach may only get 2 years up out of them. Man. But it's like men are dumping a lot of money into these kids to play sports. If little Terry 5'6", 5'7", he probably ain't going to the NBA. It is what it is, bro. Little Terry need to understand science and engineering. He need a tutor for calculus. That's what he need. Not you know he don't need football camp. He need math camp. you know, you know, stuff like that. But men, we need to wake up and see that most of us, our kids are not going to be, world class athletes. Especially making it to the major leagues. It is what it is. So why are you working all that time to send this little goof to football camp, to send this little goof to basketball camp? Why are you wasting that money when that money could be going to send them to engineer camp, which they have them, you know? Uh, so yeah, the women are, they're starting to some of them are waking up from the fog of the indoctrination, but I think men need to wake up. I think more men need to wake up from the fog of the indoctrination as well. Getting back to the two incomes and stuff. Man, and I think men are a little bit better with this because a lot of men tend not to need a lot if it was just um, if they're not chasing the kitty, men don't need a lot. A guy can have 3 pair of jeans and he's happy because guess what? When he's working, he's got 3 to 5 pair of uniform pants, his uniform shoes, uniform shirt, or if he's working, where he doesn't have to wear uniform, he's got his jeans or his khakis or whatever. He don't need a whole lot. You know, Men buy accumulate stuff, um, a, certain stuff to get women. It is what it is. They do that to attract women. And the thing about it is, men have to wake up to, hey, do I really need to get all this stuff? You know, to impress some old goofette who is never satisfied. you know, or some goofette I would never probably, connect with. you know, I mean, you have to really, you really have to put things in context. I mean, being a minimalist is great, but at the same time, you get what you need, but spend, you know, don't spend money you don't have to spend. It is what it is. And I'm talking from experience because looking back at it, I'm like, man, there's a lot of money I could have saved, and this is just to, just to keep my wife happy. It's like, man, did we have to really spend that money on that goofy ass wind chime? you know. Hey, let me take a break real quick. I gotta handle something real quick. I'll be back. Uh, give y'all some more entertainment. You know.
Where's the zookeepers? Where's the zookeepers? No, 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 Where's the zookeepers? 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 Where's the zookeepers?
Let me get some money, babe. I say, man, I ain't got no money. That money you be seeing me with on Instagrams, that be fake money, man. That be prop money. This is not my money, girl. I do not have nothing. Let me get.
Yeah. Shout out to Kodak Black, man. Yeah, man. Yeah. But getting back to what I was saying, we got to get from we got to detach ourselves from the fog of the programming. And peace, extended clips. You take it easy, brother. Be safe out there. See you next time, man. I enjoyed having you here, man. Shout out to my brother, extended clips. Yeah, man. But um, no, no, no. Yeah, man. But we got to wake up from the fog of the programming. You know, yeah, having certain vehicles are nice, but do you really need that? Do you really need a show off vehicle? You may appreciate it for the class and the craftsmanship. Okay, all right, cool. But you know, is it really that, or is it really you trying to show off uh, to the ladies? You know, think about that. You know, they're never satisfied. You know, so the same thing with clothes. You know, do you really need a pair of True Religion jeans when a pair of Levi's would be just fine, or a pair of Wranglers? Would those would do what you need them to do? Um, do you really need a T-shirt that costs $100, a graphics T-shirt that costs $100 when it's we have to get out of the fog of consumerism, because that's really indoctrination, and you have to let women stop. You have to stop letting women and female like males dictate what's important, what's sensible. You know, that being said, too, you know, you, I want to backtrack that. You have to stop letting other people um, who are indoctrinated with consumerism dictate how you spend money. You know, I remember being at work when I was working. I would work with guys who would get pickup trucks lifted 4 feet off the ground, who weren't country, who didn't have farmland or anything. It's like, dude, why the fuck is that pickup truck so high? You're a fucking city dude. You're not country. You're not in the country. You live in Evergreen Park. in a little colonial house. You live in a bungalow. You're not country. you know, but they would have a lifted pickup truck, all of this stuff. Uh, you know, you you would I would know guys that would have 30, 40 guns. It's like you ain't not been in the military. There's yeah, I understand you collect guns, but it's kind of dumb. You can only shoot at the most two of them at a time, dummy. Why you need 40 of them? you know, and that's not saying that I'm against that person's right to have 40 guns. Not at all. My thing is that you spent money on stuff you not gonna use 40 guns. You just not gonna you're not gonna use 40 guns. You're just not. That to me it didn't make sense. Like getting back to the chicks with a Birkin bag. Why would you have a bag that costs the down payment of a house and you're a renter, dummy? you know, why would you have uh you know a Louis? You don't need a Louis Vuitton bag. Go get that. What's that little cheap you know go get you go get that little cheap handbag that it costs you $50, $100. It's gonna do the same thing. You know, um, you know, kids don't need little kids don't need Jordans. Babies don't need Jordans. You know, I haven't seen a 3-year old that can play basketball effectively yet. 3-year old don't need Jordans. A 3-year old needs some good shoes that will help support their arches and stuff like that. But do they need a pair of Jordans? No, not really. No, we have to fight against consumerism, man. And so, you know, it's about looking at what's really important and not what uh, you know, not to impress others. So that's what we're running. Oh, you still here, bro? Okay. Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah. I had to go handle some stuff, but yeah, yeah. So yeah, this is but that's the big thing, man. I think women in their own way, Gen Z women are waking up and taking a second look at some things. It's like um, each generation looks at the past generation and gives their criticisms um, of what and their assessments of what's right and what's wrong. And I think Gen Z right now is struggling with you know the family dynamics and what works with the family dynamics. Extended clip says consumerism and the ideology of excess is a cancer in our societies, far removed from practicality and realism. Yes, sir. You're you are exactly right. I mean, it's a trap. You wind up becoming an indentured servant to credit card companies. Credit card companies, universities, mortgage companies, car loan companies, uh, banks, and stuff like that. You wind up becoming an indentured servant to all of these organizations. And that's the issue with credit. Yeah, you want to have good credit to be able to get things that you need in emergency. Day to day stuff, you don't need credit for it. a lot of stuff that credit is spent on is stuff that people might not necessarily need all that much. And unfortunately, people are, they get caught up in the idea of working. I was listening to a video from Green Gorilla the other day, about a book called, The End of Woman, and it talked about some of what we're talking about today and how basically feminism and Marxism and stuff have tricked women into becoming, uh, sexually irresponsible workers, basically, you know. Um, and it has, just like, Marxism, uh, it kills the ambition of men to be better and do more. You know, everybody's the same and everybody gets the same no matter what you do. That kills creativity. It kills competition. It kills innovation. Competition, inspires innovation. Competition inspires, improvement. When everybody is the same and everybody has the same and you only get what you, that's slavery. A lot of people don't realize that's slavery. You can't earn more than you can't have more than you can earn, than your capacity to earn. You can't, you know you know that's a problem. That's my issue with communism and socialism. You're telling me that no matter how much I earn, I can only keep this little amount. No, that's, man, that's a trap. It's like the trad kind. It's the trad thing, the traditional thing. All of that stuff is a trap. Now capitalism can be abusive, but we have checks and balances for it. Socialism and things like public service, like your public safety, your roads and stuff, I'm cool with that. It's the other stuff, man. Um, it's, you can't tell people, if I make a better water filter than you can't tell me that I can't charge more. I don't like that. I don't, if I have a better process for repairing cars, or something like that, you I'm not going to have the government telling me, I can't charge more for a superior service. you know I have an issue with that, and I don't, quite frankly, I don't like the taxes. I don't like our tax system because I don't want to pay taxes for certain stuff. I don't want to pay taxes for, presto changeo surgeries. I don't want to pay. I don't like paying my taxes for the deletion of fetuses. I don't want my taxes going to that. Um, to me, that's socialism. Man, that your body, your choice, all the way. Your body, your choice, all the way. You pay for it. You know. Um. So yeah, man. You know, your pursuit of happiness or misery is on you. Who am I to get in the way of that? But you gonna pay for it. You know. Um. Man, but that's the thing, man. We've been tricked by the corporations and stuff, to to basically go to work and fund corporations. Giving them our time, our energy, and stuff like that. And it's like we don't. Too many of us uh don't have a proper perspective when it comes to that. And this consumerism, like Extended Clips was saying, it's a cancer. You got women talking about, a man can't date him unless he, you got women telling a man, you got some bum ass woman telling saying that, 200 a man making $200,000 a year is not enough. Kind of, you know, It's like what? Coming from some woman that don't make 200,000 a year. It's not enough to get with her. Well, guess what? It's 52. The women outnumber men. 52% to 48%. Guess what? you know, you keep you keep that same smoke. Uh, but and this is born in consumerism. She want to be able to buy, whatever she want, spend money recklessly, frivolously, buy, have 37 wigs, you know, it's just it's stupid, and unfortunately we're not saving like we should for our children. We're not building wealth like we should. That when people like those women that say that, when they talk about generational wealth out of the other side of their mouths, it's a lie. I know it's a lie because they want a man that makes all that money for them so that they could spend with reckless abandon, and throw money away, on their whims. That doesn't build to. That's not for generational wealth. That's for, their own personal excess. you know. Um, So it's like, yeah, I don't believe him. That being said, man, I think guys got to get out of that trap when, hear hear what they're saying, but don't take it to heart. Hear it and remember it because you're gonna have to. There's gonna be a time where it's gonna be set back at their feet. But nah, this is what you said right here. Yep. See. You know, you have to deal with it like that. Don't, oh, well, I gotta get out of here. No, no, because that same woman will be sleeping with little Terry, little Pookie. She'll have kids with that dude for free. So yeah, you know, she'll be having kids with a loser that he, all it cost him was a blunt and a, three-piece chicken wing dinner. So, trust me, I've seen it too many times. You know, um, yeah. So, but anyway, this is Mr. Royce Media. I'm about to shut this down. Um, I may come back a little bit later, with a shorter video. I don't know if it'll be an upload or another live stream, but I got to get out of here. I got to go to the gym and stuff. Get my fat ass moving because I got to lose some weight. Man, I got super fat. I don't like how I look in my clothes, so I need to fix that. But I do, man. I need to fix that. But anyway, I'm gonna get on out of here. I might come back later. Like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate everybody that came through. Diggy Dave, Extended Clips, uh, Jimmy Olive, all you guys. I appreciate you guys sounding off in the chats. I want to get on out of here. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.